Hello, hello, and welcome to episode, I believe, 6 of Naughty Lines, the show where lines are drawn below the belt and sometimes above the belly. Today I have with me a very special guest, KoiAnimations.
Hey, what's up?
First of all, I want to say thank you for agreeing to be on the show. Like, very big honor to have you here.
Yeah, have to be here.
Before we get started with the questions, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself? Like who is or like rather what like who is Koi Animations?
Well, my name's Koi, and on Twitter I'm known as KoiAnimations, but everywhere else I'm known as Ahoy Koi. I'm a not safe for work artist on Twitter, mostly drawing um, lewd drawings of STAs, storytime animators,
Mm-hmm.
um, and currently running a comic. But yeah, and that's pretty much what I've been doing so far on Twitter, anyways.
Okay. And are there any projects like anywhere else within other social media, any other projects that you're doing right now uh that you would want to say here, or is there or is it kind of like a surprise thing for other places?
Um, there are future projects like I mean my name's KoiAnimations on Twitter, but I don't do many animations. So I have a an animatic from a while back
Mm-hmm.
that that I've been meaning to make a animation of, but I haven't done it yet.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna be asking you some routine questions that I ask all my guests, and then after I get through a couple of the routine questions, I make questions like unique for every guest, and so after the routine, I'll be asking you those questions because I have some for you.
Yeah, all right.
All right. So first question would be, so we found out who you are, but now the question is, why do you do what you do? So basically, why art?
All my life I've been just an artist. I like drawing. And up to recently, I like up to recently, I mean around the end of spring, I guess, of
Mm-hmm.
2020. And it's current events in the world happening. I finally like, oh, I'm just gonna do it. I'm going to go hard on making art to show it to people online.
Okay. All right. So and if it weren't for art, what would you be doing? Because I mean, considering you do have a rather large following, uh, would you say that you would want art to be? Would you say that art is a career path for you, at least at this point in time?
I mean, technically, it's a job for me now because I've been doing commissions for a while and making some extra cash. That's I mean, I would probably keep doing it if I have nothing else that I feel like I can do.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like something more substantial might come around rather than keep doing art.
Okay, and if it weren't for art, what would you be doing? Like, where would you be in this life now?
I'm currently in college, so I don't know myself.
Ah,
Yeah. Um, I guess I'll be like finding something that I can build a career path to, but I'm doing both at the same time right now, doing art for Twitter and also going to school. So that's what I'm doing right.
okay. And if you don't mind me asking, you mentioned that you're in college. What are you studying? Like, what are you going to college for?
Currently I'm a computer science major.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Um, yeah, I don't know if I'm sure about it yet, but
Mhm.
if art doesn't work out, I can just go down that path, I guess.
Okay, awesome. So what what is it? What would you say because I'm not entire how long have you been on this art path, and as well adding on to that question, what got you started on your art journey?
Well, back in 2015 to 16, I did draw art digitally, but I didn't show it to anyone. Before that, I mean, okay, let's go back into the beginning. Back when I'm in middle school, I did draw a bit, but it was mostly digital. Unlike a lot of other people, but from my artist friends and people I meet online that draw, most people from my scene come from traditional drawing, like on paper.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a strange case because I started out on a flip note on the DSI. Yeah, I always wanted to do animations, but um, I guess it's the path I'm taking right now. Well, okay, let's get back in time then. I guess after Flipnote, Flipnote Studios on the DSI. After that, I mostly did digital. I did sprites for Pokemon ROM hacks and all that. I guess that's another art outlet I went down.
Mhm.
Uh, so I've been doing digital life, most digital, not digital life, stupid, digital art for most of my life. So I kind of got a head start for a lot of people, from a lot of people, because most people had to transition from traditional drawing to digital drawing, and I didn't have to do that because I'm already familiar with all the art programs I used
Mhm.
since I was in middle school or even before that. Um, well, I usually draw stuff. I only show to close friends. And then around 2017, 2018, I started streaming safe for work drawings, like pinups, and on YouTube. And then around that time, it was just drawing on stream until I guess my audience died down on YouTube. It
Mhm.
wasn't a big audience, but it was like modest for for what I had. Um, and then at that point, my digital drawings were improving, and so but I started to had to it was like senior year of my high school, so I had to focus more in school. So I took a hiatus on like drawing for a while, and just occasionally coming back to draw one or two things for my friends. And then before my Twitter, um, pre Twitter, stuff for me. Um, like I said, I did my animatic, and I also had a YouTube channel where
Mhm.
I did edits of stuff, but that's just uh, whatever. I tried a lot of outlets for that kind of thing until the point where I did my animatic. I built a work ethic for it, and then my friends were like, "Hey, you should draw this. You should draw Jaden animations." I'm like, "Okay." So I drew Jaden animations like art, and then also fan art of Sugar. And then someone from this a Discord server, YouTube Rule 34, someone DM'd me on Twitter. This was like pre me even getting an amount of followers. It was like under 100 followers. I was just drawing some sugar, like safe for work fan art and all that. If you
Mhm.
scroll back on my Twitter timeline, um, someone's like, "Hey, I see that uh, someone from that Discord server DM'd me and was like, "Hey, I saw your sugar art and I liked it. You should join this server." And it was YouTube, YouTube Rule 34,
Mhm.
and it was It was an experience. First time I was in there, I met a lot of other people. Granted, before that, I didn't have many artist friends, just people that I played games with. So it was an experience to like find a lot of people that had the same interests as me. But back then, I didn't draw a lot of not safe for work porn. Porn, not safe for work. Not safe. I mean, not safe for work art.
Mm-hmm.
So like so in the YouTube Rule 34 server, uh, I started to talk to other people, and then I started my first STA Storytime Animator porn comic. It was Sugar's Sour Experience. Uh, Originally, the idea was like how Sugar has a salty like persona.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So me and a couple other people from the Rule 34 server were talking about what if there were different flavors of her with different unique like personality traits. And then I tried the idea of making a sour sugar because sugar that's her play on words.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and at that point, uh, called uh, I started to gain a lot of followers and people supporting my work. It was kind of a new experience. I didn't have any like fall that big of a following back then. Before that, I mean, so it was an experience. People like anorexia uh, and SSR
Mm-hmm.
um, started. I became friends with them. Because we became good Discord friends, and we just they were drawing comics. I was like, oh, what if I drew my comic? Because there wasn't a big prominent sugar comic back then.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, porn comic, anyways. It's like Anorexia's Beyond the Shells and Sir's Jaden jogging thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So they gave me some tips and tricks and stuff to do that. For some reason, on the Not Safe for Work Twitter sphere, especially the STA variety, um, comics of them make give you exponential growth. So like it just anyone that starts like a comic with STAs from my circle, just starts to gain a lot of followers and what's called um and that kind of motivates us to improve because we're like, oh, we have a new audience, we have to improve so we can keep the audience. So it was kind of like a big rivalry between all of us. It was that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, After a while, I started my Discord server for. I mean, it's pretty dead now because of things. But now, after that, it was my second Sugar comic. Sugar's bi-weekly workout. It was a 5-page thing, and now I'm currently working on my current comic, Pause Animator Resort, which is chapter 1 of Pause, the entire comic. And that brings us to now, I guess.
Okay. So I yeah that and that brings up the unique questions that I was gonna ask you about. Uh, so yeah, you anorexia and SSR, you guys among other people like Pure Boy, uh, you all you all do these pieces, these NSFW pieces of Storytime animators on YouTube. Now I can imagine how much flack you must get from the people who aren't there to enjoy it, rather are there to criticize it or even just try to cancel. Like, cuz I can only imagine you've dealt with that kind of trouble, especially what with cancel culture becoming so big in the recent months. Uh, what kind of flack have you gotten? Like, what are the bad responses to these pieces? Because there are people out there who are like apparently determined to stop this kind of Rule 34 putting on there with like Jaden and Sugar. Like, what's your response to all that?
So okay, one thing,
Mm-hmm.
the people, just randos online, replying like, this is real people, you shouldn't draw porn of them. uh they don't matter in the grand scheme of things, because if you're a public figure and you have a cartoon character on online,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, rule 34, the rule of rule 34, if something exists, there's porn of it, obviously.
Right.
Yeah. So uh only thing is that the STAs are like very popular with a lot of people, and a lot of people that like STAs, um as humans like porn as well. So, combine them, people, insanely popular, like, center of a community, like just take the big a big slice of STA people that like STAs, and
Mm-hmm.
then take the chunk of people in there um that like porn of them. But then there's the small corner that like, just doesn't like it when you draw porn of people that are like wholesome online, because most STAs are safe for work online.
Mm-hmm.
The only real problem I had are the people, the STAs themselves.
Okay.
Uh, uh, a while back, one while back. Oh my god. The current world situations really warped my perception of time. I think it's a while back, even though it's like a month or so ago. Um, uh, Ginja Ninja Owo
Mm-hmm.
um, started blocked me for drawing her as Christian. Not even as like a not safe for work, just like as a safe for work thing for her birthday. And it's like a gag thing. I'm like, hey, look, I drew you as Christian. Are you familiar?
I am not. At least not like at the moment. I can't entirely remember.
Yeah,
I can look back and see it, but yeah, go keep going. I'll go ahead and keep looking on.
yeah. So I drew her as Christian. The only problem is that after that, Solid Rich, he's a good friend of mine as well.
Yeah.
Uh, he drew a picture of Ginja and Shadman holding hands as a joke for her birthday.
Mhm.
So we're like at Ginja Ninja. Well, like, what's up here? We drew you. I drew her as Chris Chan. Solid Rich drew her holding hands with Shadman. As a joke,
Mhm.
and she didn't take it very well. She went and blocked me, and then went back to unblock me and block my followers that were replying to posts of mine in that time period. It was kind of mean, not gonna lie,
So she okay, so she unblocked. So she blocked you and then she unblocked you and blocked all your followers.
and then blocked me again. Because you can't see posts unless they because I blocked her back, so she can't do that anymore.
Mhm.
Yeah, so you can still see posts when you block them. You just like have to click that thing, Twitter, whatever.
Right.
To Yeah, she went because like people were like saying, "Hey, I got blocked by her," even though I hadn't. Like perspective of them, they're like, "I got blocked by Ginja, even though I never interacted with." Her. And it turns out is that because they were replying to my posts, it wasn't even replying to the Ginja Ninja post. But that was the entire debacle in that time.
So I'm seeing the so I think I just found it. The cuz when you say Christian, I'm thinking the thing with Sonichu, right?
Yeah, the Sonic Shoot thing.
Yeah, okay. And she didn't take too kindly to it?
Yeah, from what I've seen, I can't get take my perspective with a grain of salt, because you can't really guess someone's intentions without talking to them.
Mhm.
So that's what people, we assume, because we can't really talk to her when she blocked us.
Right.
Yeah. So I guess that was entire debacle. Oh yeah, and then Kinship before that, like, do you know, the situation with Lana and Ginja?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like you know how once a big STA calls out for someone to make one of them with no context, they'll like take them down, that
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. Thank God that never happened to me because I think like from like work people in the community in my circle of artist friends saying telling me it seems that Ginja felt bad and delayed the tweet afterwards. So I don't think she'll ever do it again. So it's fine. But the current situation with Illuminati, that's kind of like makes a lot of us in the community drawing STA stuff to see that maybe it might be a trend of people of like YouTubers with personas like calling out people drawing porn of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Further from that, positive STA involvement. Sugar actually is fine with porn of her.
Right,
Like,
yeah, and I do okay, I know that part, like, because as far as I go, I'm I'm friends with a person who's I'm friends with a friend of Sugar's, and I'm in a server that also has her brother, in it, and I've heard she doesn't have a problem with it, but her brother does,
oh,
and
geez.
so it's things like that, like because yeah, I mean, and like I said, like if you must get a lot of flack for it. But if the STA, like if Sugar is okay with it, then there shouldn't be any problems as far as it goes. Cause I think I've heard Jaden Animations going on record saying that she doesn't like people making lewd things of her, and it's not really a thing that you can control. I mean, it's just like a wildfire. If it's gonna spread, there's nothing really much that you can do about it, except sit there and watch, and hopefully it doesn't burn down your house.
Yeah. It's depends on the person. Like, I think at a certain point, most people don't care. Like, if you're big enough, if an STA is big enough,
Hmm.
like some people just don't care. People are like, this person is too big to call me out, so they just draw porn of that kind of
Right,
thing.
right,
Yeah.
yeah, and especially with the whole too big thing. I did want to ask you about that. Did you ever have that like fear that the fact that these STAs have such an enormous following, did you ever have the fear that they might use their power to get you like to stop you or any of your friends kind of thing? Because I know that there's a lot of people who are scared of like power in numbers at least.
Well, perspective wise, for me, strictly from like a numbers thing. I don't. People that are too big, if an essay is too big, they probably want to keep their public image, so they won't call out a not safe for work artist.
Mhm.
So that I feel safe with drawing people like Sugar, Jaden, and Tabs because I think the only time Tabs calls is like all art is good. I'm paraphrasing obviously because I don't know the exact quote. Like
Mhm.
all art's good, but for but people who draw lewd stuff, that's kind of weird. But that's all the things that I think I know from Tabs. But like the top three like female STAs, Jaden, Sugar, Tabs, they're pretty much like um you know um you're fine with drawing them because they kind of want to keep their safe for work like thing. So like they're too big to just call out one person,
Right.
and especially when a lot of people are small, a small a small Twitter, not safe for work Twitters. Like they're like around like 1K 2K followers. Or lower. They don't give a crap because why are you gonna call out a 2K follower account? That's kind of bullying, just using your power.
Mhm.
The people that I do fear are the smaller STAs because like they still have a big audience, but like it's to the point where they're probably gonna pop off later on. in their career,
Mhm.
so they can just delete the tweet for now, just to like I mean they're mad at it. They're like because like later on, when from what I've seen, when STAs get big enough, they don't they care about their image more. The smaller ones, they know their place. That's why they have the power to do it.
Right.
That's why like people like Ginja and Illuminati, I kind of fear that.
Okay.
Uh, but also, drawing people like drawing STAs like those usually doesn't give you that doesn't like a lot of artists they gotta get that feedback loop of I drew something, put on Twitter, gets likes, dopamine rush, that kind of thing. If the thing is, people are dissuaded from drawing smaller STAs because they don't give them as many likes, so don't get that dopamine rush. So they're kind of safe for that too,
Right.
and that's what I feel about that.
Okay. All right. Um so it's safe to assume and say that like you're comfortable doing what you're doing right now.
Yeah, yeah, I am.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Yeah, I mean cuz I honestly like and it kind of surprised me whenever you said you feared the smaller variants of STAs, but I do understand like it's the fact that they will pop off in the future and they could get that kind of rush and be like, you know what, I have a whole following to sick on these people, that kind of thing.
And they're small enough to be able to take they're big enough to have power, but they're small enough to recover.
Right, right. Okay. So another question would be, what have you ever had a situation because you said that you take commissions?
Yeah.
Um, has there ever been a situation where a commission, like person commissioning you, have you ever had to like cancel in the middle of a commission because it just got too ridiculous, or one that you just straight up said like, nope, I'm not gonna do it, and then just left it at that?
Never in the middle. If it's in the from what I learned, if it's from the beginning of a commission,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just explaining to me, I either like, no, no, no thanks, I don't feel like drawing, or I'm blunt with that kind of thing. That's why some commissioners might not like me in that way. But I'm straight to the point. I'll tell you as it is, so you can know what time it's gonna take. If I'm like, if I'm backed up, I'll be like, I'm backed up. You're not gonna see it for a week, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason the one big thing that kind of kills me is when people don't pay.
Oh, so
That
oh, so
that's the
that's
only time. That's the only time I'll be like, cancel. You're not paying for the other half of the commission. I'm
so
not gonna. I'm not gonna do the rest.
so
That kind
that
of thing.
happens. That actually happens. People will try to dip without paying.
Yeah, but the thing is, the trend that I feel is that the commissions that seem like jokes are the ones that that happen like that. Like if they just like make a commission that I seem like, oh, it's probably just a joke. But the thing is, before, um, only up to recently, before, I just take half payments first and then half payments at the end of the commission.
Mm-hmm.
But now I've been burned so many times. Fuck that. Now you gotta pay in the beginning. That's what I feel like now. Because like it's not worth the effort just to pay paid half, finish the whole thing, and it goes you.
Right. Okay. And I did that raises a question, and I get it. You do need to pay at first. Like you need to pay for the stuff in the beginning so that way you can get the material at the end. That's any kind of business. But
Yeah.
when it comes to your art, do you do you at least like give the person like a rough draft sketch of what it could be and then they pay, or is it like before I pick up that pen, you pay me?
Yeah. Yeah. Ever since the beginning of my commissions, rule of thumb is what's it called uh rule of thumb for me now is that if you want a commission, you gotta pay me first, and then I'll start drawing. I'm a type of for commissions. I'm a type of person that will show every step of the way, just in case stuff happens.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I do that is because a lot of people are pretty bad with wanting changes. Is that they don't notice they want to change until the end. They have to edit it. It's kind of annoying that way. That's why I show them every sketch revision. Is like, are you sure about that? Are you sure you want to go to the next stage? Are you sure you want to go to the next stage before it's too late? With that type of mentality, with commissions, I made it where uh, only like only a very small percentage of commissions I have to edit in the end because they want changes. So
Okay.
that's the type of thing. I don't really deny commissions in the middle because unless they don't pay.
Okay. All right. Uh, so okay. So in that case, well, so now that that's taken care of, another question would be: have you dealt with any kind of, I guess I should say, weirdness? So like, obviously there are weirdos on the internet. We all know this. We've even
Yeah,
been that weirdo at some point in time.
yeah.
But when it comes to you being, because I could call you an influencer right now because you're following, like you're there. People know you're
Yeah.
there. So have you had to deal with the like creepy or weird, uh, ever since your following has gotten so large? Like, have you ever had to deal with that before?
People that okay, yeah, weird people. For what most weird people that speaking of commissions and I have a request form like a Google form where people can just request stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll pick whatever. And there's commissions. A lot of uh, regarding commissions. Weird people, they most of them know their place and they don't want it to be public. Like when I do commissions, it's either public or private. Like public, I'll show like, oh, here's commission for at the Twitter handle,
Mm-hmm.
and for private, I'll just be like, here, I send you a picture, and then I don't post it anywhere at all, and don't show it to anyone, that kind of thing, because it's private. So like the weird people, they know their place. Most of them, anyways, know their place. They know their fetishes are weird or their request is weird, so they'll keep it private. The problem is the people that don't are weird but are public about it. But most of them are fine because it's the internet. It's tolerable. You see worse stuff all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So earlier, I did mention cancel culture. Uh, as I said, it's been becoming rampant in the last couple of months. So, would you say that as an NSFW artist, uh, because I could sit here and say like, oh, you guys are kind of on a, kind of on the burning end of the candle, like when it comes to cancel culture at least. And there is some truth to that. But do you have any fear of cancel culture at least right now? And if not, do you think that cancel culture can be used for good in any sense of the term, like, or in any sense of the word, good?
Mom mentality is never good. Because mob mentality views warp and they still go with it because it's mob mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I do fear it once I get bigger, but for now, I'm only at 10K. It's not gonna affect me that much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, once I get bigger, obviously, there's going to be more and more people are like saying, hey, you're doing something bad. I'm going to try to cancel you." But the thing is, I feel that not safe for work artists have a veil of like protection, but also in that respect, we the weaknesses we get less respect. Like, oh, why cancel this not safe for work person? Not safe for work is already not respected. So when canceling someone, you're trying to make someone lose all their respect.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when you're starting out at a lower like, because the thing is, outside the community, people just are dissuaded. They're like by not safe for work stuff, anyways. So they're like, oh, this person already has less respect. So once they get bigger, canceling them won't do much because we're already starting at a lower point in like perspective. Like someone like viewing us, it's we're already starting lower than a normal account on Twitter, so we're fine.
right. And okay, so I can see that. So you're not really afraid right now. It's just if cancel culture continues to grow within your like or at least while you're growing, eventually it might you're scared that of the possibility that it could come back to bite you in the ass like later on.
Well, the thing is, yeah, only thing I'm fearing is cancel culture within the Nazi work, rather
Ah,
than
yeah, okay. Okay.
yeah. Because the thing is, uh, I'm not mainstream, so it's fine. Because mainstream cancel culture is what kills you because they'll try to dox you, they'll find your IP stuff like that. But like if
Mhm.
it's just like within the community, it's just like, oh, this guy doing bad, please mass report, and that's it.
Yeah, because especially with the Illuminati problem, like that whole scandal. All it took was a mass reporting and like just boom, person's done. And it's amazing to see, it was amazing to see just how quick this one artist could get, like just flushed down the toilet. He came back, obviously, his account is back, but it
Yeah,
was
came back
like,
for looting.
yeah, like it came back, but it's the fact that something can get canceled that quick by just a community. And even now, like I'm very new to the whole not influencer scene, but I guess YouTube and Twitter scene. Like I'm starting to gain traction little by little, and I've already gotten my fair share of cancel culture coming after my show. And it's just crazy to think about, like, because for those of you out there who don't know, there are some people out there who are trying to cancel Naughty Lines simply because they think that it's immoral that I'm interviewing NSFW artists and that I shouldn't give them any attention. And I think that's bullshit. Like, there's no reason I shouldn't give the NSFW community my support, especially since it's a community that I truly and wholeheartedly support, being that I have friends who are in that community and I've made great friends within the community since I started this show. So, I just wanted to get your opinion on that cuz I've had to deal with it too.
The thing is, I see that you can your show might get way bigger than you'll think.
Mhm.
Uh, the thing is, if I think your show has staying power. It'll probably the thing is, it's a double-edged sword. If it
Mhm.
has staying power and more people are like, oh, I this guy is cool. He shows a new perspective on things that we don't know about. That's the appeal of your show from what I've seen.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it's a double-edged sword, as I said, because not safe for work artists already has less respect, but in that respect, they have a veil of protection from cancel culture.
Right.
So, like, if you give not safe for work artists more respect, they have more to lose.
And I do understand that. And that's not my intention at all, is to like have them lose respect. I don't want them
No,
to
no,
lose
I
any.
think
I
it's
want them to
great.
gain respect. That's the reason I made the show, is cuz there's a lot of people who don't think that there's a lot that goes into they don't think there's a lot that goes into NSFW art. Like they just think that all NSFW artists are horny mongrels. And I know that's not true.
I mean, what's called hoardiness does help our numbers.
Right, like horny brings in the bills. That's the thing. Like horny pays the bills, but that's not. It's just like how some of the artists that I've actually interviewed so far, they don't. Some of them don't want to be only known for their NSFW side, and they don't want to only be known as the NSFW artist. They want to be known as an artist, and they want people to know who they are. And that's the reason for Naughty Lines. I want people to see the person behind the pen. And that's what I'm
That's a good
doing.
slogan. That's a good slogan. Slogan. Put it on a shirt.
Yep, that's the slogan of the show. Show the person behind the pen. And I want this to go somewhere because I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for the artists. But
Yeah,
I still can't believe that that even I'm a nobody and I'm already dealing with cancel culture.
yeah, it's a problem. But the thing is, I just like I know it's cliche and kind of early 2010s,
Mhm.
but just block out the haters. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, but the thing is, okay, not. But the thing is, still take criticism. Obviously, if
Oh
you're like,
yeah.
oh, your show has bad sound mixing, you should improve on that. Don't block out those kind of things. Like for obviously, you gotta see some criticism to improve your stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, like precisely. Yeah. It's just like if they're like if I get a message or something or a comment saying like this show is sick and should be buried in the ground, I'm gonna be like, yeah, no, go away. You're the kind of person I don't want watching the show. Like that, I want everyone to watch the show, but if you have nothing constructive to say about it, then I'm not gonna listen. Now, if I get reported and then and my like account gets shut down, then I'm gonna wonder what the hell do I do? But I don't think I'm in danger of that, at least not yet.
Yeah, you're putting like bordering stuff on YouTube, and you don't have enough of what's called an audience to protect you from YouTube shenanigans.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, are you putting putting these podcasts on like different platforms at least so you can be protected?
Well, right now, as far as it goes, these are just recordings. They're not live casts, and uh, I right now I'm putting them only on YouTube. I don't know if I'm gonna be putting them on other platforms. Um,
Yeah, you gotta pay for that too because fees.
yeah, yeah. So like maybe I might put it on other platforms just so I can try to get the show more out there, and also so I can like because I also have the raw files of the actual interviews. So if I ever need to re-upload or anything, I always have that on hand. But
Yeah,
protecting the show a little bit more, it would require me to kind of put it out there more, but I wouldn't know where to put it to begin with. Like someone actually like cuz we someone was actually talking to me about this situation and they considered daily motion. And I'm like, I don't know about daily motion. That's not really I don't that's
I
like
mean as
the
much reach as possible. You know.
yeah, as much reach as possible, but whenever I see daily motion, I think of it as the stuff that YouTube doesn't have the balls to put on.
I mean, that's kind of like Robin Hood like mentality is like since the establishment won't allow it, I'll put it somewhere else where people can still see it. But it's whatever it's good for you, I guess.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So it looks like we're just about out of time. So with that, Koi, if there's is there anything that you want to say and or plug before the show ends? Because I already have your Twitter and Patreon on the screen, and all your links will be in the description below. But is there anything you want to say and or plug?
Yeah. I have a YouTube channel where I upload. I mean, I guess it's at Identity Crisis right now, but I have a hush hush project of like safe for work stuff
Mm-hmm.
that's coming soon. I might plug it on my Twitter, so I mean, stuff on the stuff you already have on your screen. My yeah, at KoiAnimations on Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
obviously for my main stuff. Patreon for stuff, tiers and all that, and my YouTube, Ahoy Koi, also. Is that an identity crisis? But there's still some good stuff there for people who want to see my personality rather than my art.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there is some of my art on there, but um, yeah. But that's pretty much it. Yeah, I can give you the link to
Yeah.
the channel.
Yeah. All right. I will be putting that in the description for sure. And yeah, if that's it, Koi, thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, happy to be here.
All right, and for all of you out there, thank you for joining us for the sixth episode of Naughty Lines, and hope you have a nice day, and hope to see you in the next one. Peace out.
Alrighty.